Ziggity zig back with the Friday Fav, and I left that open, but that's okay, because it's that guy, Griff versus Burdrann. Burdrann, sort of like that drum, the Boran, but with 9 N's in it, and a bunch of Celtic Q's. That's right, Celtic Q's, that's how they pronounce things, don't worry about it. So, we're coming up on, this is Griff's PVZ, but the fun thing is this is a slightly different build that Griff has started working on, so we got a couple of these to look at. So I might look at these over a bit of time. We're up on Antigua Shipyard at the moment. There goes Burdrann. I'm going to say, oh, no, I'm right, D. I thought it was silent. Okay, he's not Welsh. So Burdrann is having a check for Griff over in that direction. Meanwhile, this... Yep, there's that. Overlord is going to go look over here. So he's actually eventually going to find Griff. Now, the problem is, Griff is going to go with a bit of an air build. Now, when you're doing an air build, usually you need to start pretty early, and when you start really early, that means that you are going to be susceptible to the early zerg scout, which is overlords that you can't really shoot down. Not with zealots, you can with stalkers, but few people go stalker or sentry first. The sentries can do a little bit of tickling, but not before the damage is done. So, well, at least the scouting is scouted. The information is revealed. The big reveal happens, and Burdrann knows that you're going to go air. So there's a gateway. The reason I know these are air is because the games were titled Phoenix Build Attempt Number 1, Attempt Number 2. Attempt Number 1 is 32 minutes long. This one was a lot shorter, so, you know me, I like short games. So we're going to go with short games, and oddly enough, yeah, you can win a game with Phoenixes in a short game, especially when you're up against Zerg, because they have absolutely no anti-air. Not anytime soon. They're predominantly ground, so if you can get them before a Roach Rush base race, then you're laughing. So Burdrann is slowly trying to figure things out. Griff's got a pile out in Burdrann's. Did have a pilot in Burdrann's expo, but apparently still thinks it's there, but also saw it be pretty much destroyed. So Burdrann's going to come back and realize that there's nothing there anymore. No? Gonna come look? Gonna come look? And no, not there. Excellent. So not worried about that too much. Burdrann now does have a fair amount of vision over what's going on. Let's have a quick check at the worker count. There goes Griff, still on a mad, crazy search, despite the fact that he has already found where his opponent is. That seems a little odd. Not a single unit out at the moment. There's probably going to be his first zealot coming up very quickly. Maybe not. Nope, decides to go for second gas, no units. So second gas, no units, going for a slow Cybercore. Not sure what we're saving all of our Chrono for. Ah, there we go. There's some Chrono on the Cybercore just there. And saving up a bit more money. Getting ready probably to build the first Stargate, which is 150. So needs a bit more. This is probably what that additional gas was for, and now chronoing out a zealot just to be on the safe side, walling off and being ready. Burdrann has moved out of the line of sight of checking out Griff's base, which is kind of a strange maneuver, because usually you want to, come sit over here, then you can get all sneaky with your Nidus Canal, and there is a strange expansion from Burdrann. Burdrann's first expo is over here at the second natural, the traditional third base, but whatever. And the two bases are now going in two different places. There's the Roachhorn. So Roachhorn spawning pool, but Griff has got the first Stargate on the way. Hiding it in the back. Excellent, well done. So that Burdrann has no idea what's happening over here. Burdrann just knows that there's a few units. Now, the problem is that Griff is also not really scouting all that much, so there could be anything over here. And in fact, there is just, well, that. It's no lair on the way, there is no additional tech, it just seems to be mostly a Roach build, a Roach style build, probably because it took so long to get his second up, and with that second, probably want to start moving the units down here, start protecting this area, make it seem like you got a lot more than you do, just in case. But there is the first Phoenix for Griff. So we're going to watch this guy go through, because this is the kind of cool thing that you can do with Phoenix. Now, in Terran build, Phoenixes are, well, you can pick up the Marauders and do things like that. But against Zerg, it's really awesome, because Zerg's primary source of food, I want to say, the Warcraft 3 maneuver, but for the most part, supply is the word I've been thinking of while I've been rambling on. Oh yeah, there we go. So Griff does see that. He sees a few units there at the middle, but he's also still poking around trying to find a few more. And here comes a roach. Roach push at around the 716 mark. Griff does modestly see it, so trying to make... deciding not to Artosis entirely. The Star Gate is still pushing things forward, and here Griff is going to work on the wall. So here is the first sentry who's going to be able to force field the bottom of the gate, which is handy. Here comes the view from Burdrann, which is a really good maneuver on behalf of the Overlord to come in that way. Now, Griff is definitely a little bit behind insofar as units in range, but here comes the 3 Phoenix. They're on their way down to do something about this. Now, Burdrann is just about up the ramp. The vision of the Overlord was very, very useful just there because otherwise Griff had a very good force field at the bottom of the ramp, but the problem was the Overlord did sort of render that moot. However, the Phoenixes come in and save the day and take out the remainder of these roaches. These 3 here, they should probably get out of dodge, but they decide to stick around and die, which is exactly what's going to happen. So there is the lesson learned. When behind, get the hell out and stop trying to destroy the races. Now, you may be thinking that if he picks up all the roaches, that'll be quite useless, but picking up all the roaches makes it so the stalkers can still attack. At least when they are under the effects of the graviton beam, they are not attacking anything, which is a good thing. Here comes a bunch more roaches, because you know what? When roaches fail, make more roaches. Here are the Phoenix, and they are probably in a really good position to start thinking about going over and doing a little bit more of what you just saw, which was Overlord Killings. And Overlord Killings is a really, really good time. Like I said, the sole source of supply for Zerg are air units, and when you have units that you can make that are fast and can kill air units pretty quickly, you take them and go with it. So now the Overlord hunting is probably going to begin in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, over in Burdrann's base, we have an Erroneous Queen hanging out doing absolutely nothing. We got the Evo Chamber working on a few different things. Back in Griff's base, he's only actually producing any Phoenix at the moment. There's another pylon because he probably realized that he was supply blocked. Here is this 3rd base, i.e. the Natural, finally on its way down. Got a bit more gas on its way in here. I'm still surprised not to see any tech. Oh, there. Okay, so there's the lair is actually out. So the lair is being worked on, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of pent-up minerals over here. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the larva, and there we go. 19 larvae is where we're at right there. So realistically, 19 larvae would do quite a good job. Now the army supply is pretty even, but Griff has got air that can... These Phoenix are really turning the tide. Griff is quite a bit behind in worker supply, as you can see here. I'm not even sure that he's entirely... He's just barely saturated at his main base. Has not expanded to a natural just yet. Even with 710 minerals, that's enough for a Nexus and the 2 pylons for change. It's probably where you want to start moving those in. There's a couple more sentries, which is a pretty good idea. This is my problem. I don't ever seem to recoup the sentries. Burdrann has decided to pretty much stop producing much of anything. And no, here we go. We're going back to roaches. So you know what works? You know what really works against Phoenix? Roaches. Here come the Phoenix in from the lower half on the main base, and they're sniping the Queen. In taking out the Queen, then taking out a few more workers, and just trying to see how much damage he can do. And there's the resources lost right there. Quite a lot of losses on Burdrann's side of things. Now, he probably wants to still be moving around. I'm not really sure what Griff's doing at the moment, but here are 6 of these Overlords that are just ripe for the taking. There is the Hydralisk Den. But the problem with the Hydralisk Den is ready. Lots of Hydralisks. 3 whole Hydralisks being made to go up against 5 Phoenix, and I don't think that's really going to happen. Focusing down the Queen. Down goes the Queen. 3 Hydralisks almost here, but the real problem is about to happen when these 3 Overlords go down, and you watch that supply drop very, very quickly. So there's the 3 Hydralisks are up. 2 more on the way, but the problem now is that there is a supply cap. So with the remainder, a few more of these Overlords going to get picked off. There is no way that Burdrann can come back from that, because he needs to start making a lot of Overlords quick with that. And up against that amount of Phoenix, you probably need quite a number, well, using the Queens as well, or perhaps in that first attack, noticing. The only thing I can see Burdrann doing is noticing coming in here with just the roaches and seeing a lot of Phoenix. I would put down at least one Spore Crawler in my base, or perhaps then, at that point, start thinking about a Hydralisk den. I mean, I know it's not a total commitment to anti-air, but you probably want to think about a little bit of anti-air. So let's have a quick peek, finally, at the EPM. Very, very even game. Let's see if he was a spammer. A little bit of a spammer. Griff getting some very effective EPM, which is why it's called that. Leave me a comment down below. Send me an email, ziggyzig@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, @ZiggyStarcraft. You can check out some more adventures from that guy Griff and myself over on our other YouTube channel, youtube.com/lime-not-lemon. That was Griffventures of Griff. I can't remember what number it is. Probably 21. Stay tuned.